Thanks, Brandon. Oh man, back. We never left.
Did you leave, like, in the off-season? Like, how much time did you spend away from him?
I did leave. I left for 3 weeks in January. Came back from the bowl game, hung out with some guys that night, and then went home the next day. I went to Newport Beach. I went to Arizona, and I went back home to Georgia for 3 weeks. So had my fun, but I was ready to get back towards the end of it.
How much football stuff did you do during then, or not at all?
Not any at all. Yeah, I took a break from it.
What do you make of working with your new look wide receivers and how that's going? I know it's in the early stages, but how that's progressing?
It's like a car guy that loves cars. It's like Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all those kind of cars. So it's a blessing, honestly, to look out there, look right, look left, and you have multiple options to choose from, and guys rolling in as well. So it's been a lot of fun. They've worked really hard in the winter. We got together a bunch 3 times a week, and it's been fun. I think the best thing about it is getting to know them off the field, having breakfast together, and just spending time, watching basketball games, going to play cards, and doing those kind of things was our goal, to build a rapport off the field.
Dylan, how much more natural is it for you to be a leader when you've got a year under your belt?
I think it's easier in a way, but I think it's a lot of work. I think being a leader, you got to earn a lot of trust from guys. So we have a great leadership, from the defensive side, and obviously having Coach Rule at the helm of the program, kind of leading and guiding me through it all. So I'm grateful to have him, and it's been a lot of fun. Our guys have gravitated towards each other. Not just offense, but the defense we've all kind of came together, so it's been cool to see.
Do you have specific objectives you want to accomplish this spring? I mean, why is it important to you?
This spring is important. I think we can get a quicker jump on things. Dana's kind of put his stamp on, and we've had our time to meet and kind of get things installed. From a player standpoint, so we're kind of ahead of the curve of install and knowing where to be, what to do. So I think we can get more advanced in our plays, but also I think it's just boring and simple. Execute, go out there, execute, don't make the simple mistake, and practice. Our thing's been 2-minute end of the game. It's 5 or 6 games last season came down to that. So for us, it's been an emphasis. We're not going to lose any more of those. So we've put a lot of time, a lot of thought into that.
What's his stamp? When you say Dana's put his stamp on the offense, how would you characterize that?
His swag. He's got some swag. The way he calls plays, and he kind of just lets his guys roll out there and make plays. He's gonna call a play. He's gonna put us in a position to be successful, and then we just have to go out there, execute, make the throw, make the catch, and go from there.
How much do you feel like tempo could play a factor? I mean, everybody's talked about how you're able to process things really quickly. How much faster do you think you guys can go when you need to?
I think we can. We can go fast. We go slow, and we also can kind of be a steady medium. It just depends what we want to do in the game, kind of switching it up. So we're installing all of our tempos right now. So we're about 3 deep in. So it's been fun, and it kind of makes the defense scramble a little bit. So sometimes it hurts you, sometimes it doesn't, and it helps you. So we just want to keep doing it.
How much more do you want to run this year? If there's like 5 or 7 situational yards you need to get them, are you hoping to be in positions where you can pick those up with your feet at times this year?
Absolutely. And, plenty of opportunities to run last year that I presented and didn't. So that's definitely a note in my head to kind of how I went about the offseason, getting things right, and then attacking it in order to run on those 3rd downs or 4th downs or 1st downs, whatever it is, keep the chains moving, keep us on the field, and put points up on the board.
He a couple of weeks ago, Net cited you as one of the reasons he came here. You're contacting him, letting him know how he was needed. is that off-field chemistry starting to transfer into on-field chemistry yet?
Absolutely, I think so. We're only 3 days in right now, but yeah, we worked together all winter. Spring break, he came down to Atlanta and we met him. I met him at Buford, so we've been together as much as we can. Been on the phone. He's been over the house, so yeah, Dane's a great guy. I think it's hard for people not to like him, especially the way he works and how much he's in here. Sometimes I'll walk in here and he'll still be in here. I think the guys gravitate to that and they see that from a veteran guy, and it kind of pushes the room.
You spent a lot of time specifically with Emmett this offseason. Just what was that like, just continuing to build your friendship and your bond off the field?
Yeah, Emmett's fun. He's a great dude, tremendous athlete on the field. But I think we both love sports in general. Him growing up playing basketball, I used to go basketball games when I was, younger. So I don't know. We were just one day kind of just rolled out there and was like, this is fun. You want to go to more games, and it kind of turned into something that we didn't really expect. But it was grateful for the opportunity. We love our community and all the support that we get. So it was just a way of us to give back.
Can you detail the importance for you this offseason of your physical shape?
Mm-hmm.
It's come up a lot. And,
Yeah.
like every time Coach Rules talked, and Dana brought it up today, what's that journey been like for you?
If I'm being honest, it sucks. I'm just being honest, it's a constant grind every day. Sometimes you don't see change right away. In this instant, physical body standpoint doesn't change in a day, doesn't change in a week, doesn't change in 2 weeks, not even 3. So it's just the consistency of staying on it and keep going. And I'm just grateful for our strength staff, our nutrition staff, even my dad. My dad's been involved heavily as well. So it's been a team effort. I'm grateful. I feel amazing right now. Probably the best shape I've ever been in. I feel great. I went on spring break, came back probably about 9 or 10 pounds lighter. So, that was an emphasis. I was kind of getting away from the program and just always the soreness and, just all the lifting we do here, which is great. But kind of just to, take that step, like I said, it doesn't happen in 4 weeks. That was probably week 6 or 7. And it kind of all of a sudden snapped, and here we are. It's perfect time, right in the spring ball.
Running or cardio, or what'd you do over spring break to break through like that?
Yeah, I boxed every day, 6 a.m. in the winter, and then I would go right into a mile after we lifted, and then I'd come back later in the day and do 20 more minutes. So that was the winter, and then spring break, I just lifted in the morning, and then at night, I would get a cardio session, and then I would jump in the sauna. So I don't know, it's kind of like boxing training for some reason, but I feel great. I think they correlate great together. The jump ropes and the foot strike and all those things. So I'm cool talking about it. I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Dana said that he was walking to work every day, even when it was negative 15 out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that says just about his kind of commitment to this identity of this team?
Well, one, I think he's crazy for doing that. I told him I'd pick him up while I come in, and I'd drive right by where he lives. But, no, we're grateful to have him. Honestly, we're lucky to have him. He could be anywhere right now. And to have a coach that cares like that, and that's just an example of how much he cares to walk here. He's a great guy. He's very particular in his offense, and I think that's what makes all his pass offenses really good. So we would be dumb to not gravitate towards that and kind of learn and pick his brain.
You mentioned wanting to get better at the 2-minute offense. How much do you go back and dissect those games, and how have you had the give and take with Dana about ways you can improve on that?
Yeah, I've watched them probably 3 or 4 times. As much as it hurts watching it, you have to just see the mistakes and the things that ultimately some games didn't have to be in the 2-minute. But when it comes down to it, that's when you win games. That's when you make money. So I think it's all great learning tools. In the moment it sucks. You want to win all those games, and you want to you want to keep propelling this program where Coach Rose got it going. But, you know, kind of go through that growing pain and to kind of, you know, we got to practice and evolve and keep getting better at it. So when we get in those positions, we're comfortable. You know, it's not oh, here we go again. It's like, yeah, give me the ball, let's go roll. So that's the kind of the mindset shift we got to have, and they can kind of see it already. So I'm excited for it.
You had to get on anybody yet? Like, you know, you don't have to name who that is, but like when you get on somebody, what does that look like?
I'll get on myself, honestly. I mean, I got to call the play right, and if I don't, they get yelled at. But at the end of the day, it's my fault. But when I do get on them, it's you know, like, we can't have that, and then you got to go love them up. You know, you can't beat them down till like every time you walk to them, they're scared. Like, oh, is he gonna yell at me? You know, it can be a conversation, or if it keeps happening, it can get a little more than that. But at the end of the day, they're learning just as I'm learning. I'm learning them, they're learning me. So it's a two-way street, yeah, it's all learning. Like, it's the perfect time for it all to happen right now.
Was there a moment last season or even in this offseason where you were like, yeah, I can do that, and I can do that to pretty much anybody if I have to because I've earned the right after a year of playing?
Yeah, I mean, mat drills, I guess anyone can yell at anyone in mat drills. Everyone's struggling, everyone's kind of going through it. But no, I don't take that as a, you know, take advantage of being the leader and yelling at guys. I just think that there's different ways to approach it. And so if you can reach people in different ways, or you can kind of, you know, get under their skin in a different way that's effective, I'd rather choose that route than just I don't really cuss, so I'm not gonna mother F them or not. That's just not who I am.
Dylan, I know it's just 3 practices in, but how is spring going so far for you? And how is this year's spring season different for you as opposed to last year?
Well, for one, I'm glad the weather's warm. It's been great weather. Yeah, going into it, just kind of knowing and what to expect from a standpoint of, you know, I'm not trying to learn the install and then practice it. You know, I already know the plays, and then we can kind of go from there. So I think it's just a quicker processing, and then not making, you know, I went back and watched the spring from last year and not making the same mistake twice, even in the spring last year. So we're really big on not wasting reps. And then, you know, even though we're learning still, we don't want to go out there and just, you know, run into a complete blow-up look. You know, we want to put our team in a position to be successful.
Was there anything you saw from defenses in the fall that you've been studying this offseason, or like any looks you want to see this spring from the defense?
From the spring standpoint, I guess our defense is just going to roll what they roll. Coach Butler's been in the league, and he knows what he's doing, so we got an advantage there. From the fall, I mean, we went back and watched. It's you know, teams play what they play. They're going to do what they do, and it's just a matter of who's going to execute and who's not. And I think, you know, having more of a threat to run, like I said earlier, will help. But still, our guys are going to go out there and make plays. And at the end of the day, football is about making plays. It's not about the play call. It's not about, you know, who's got better players. It helps, but you got to go make the play when the ball's in the air or when I got the ball in my hand.
How useful is it having Graham's dad in that room? I guess you call him Granddad.
Granddad, yeah. Just call him Granddad. He's an old man. No, I love it. You know, when I talked to him after the season about coming back, it was kind of, I don't know. I told him, I said, dude, I need you to come back. That's kind of my guy to bounce things off of. He's seen it. He's obviously been really successful at playing quarterback. So it's a conversation every day. I'm very grateful that I have him. You know, I can talk to him, approach him, and it's the same back. You know, it kind of betters ourselves for on the field, and then off the field, like we just have a lot of fun. Like today, we're all going out to play golf today at 3:30. So, like those are the things that kind of from last offseason, kind of not knowing the guys. So now it's like, all right, we can play football and go watch film together before we hit the golf course. But then we're out there, it's, you know, we don't talk about football. We just roll out there, we talk trash, we play golf, and we just enjoy being around each other.
Who's the best golfer in your group?
Bodie's pretty good. Bodie's, I think he's like a 3 or 4 handicap. I may be gassing him, but he's really good. It's kind of fun, but it's also discouraging playing against him.
What's your handicap?
I don't have a handicap. I don't play enough. I don't play enough.
Anything else for Dylan?
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.